Well, hello, ladies. Happy Thursday, right? Thursday? I think I've been doing that a lot lately. I keep missing my days because our groups are a little bit backwards and different right now. So forgive me if I'm wrong on the day, but welcome anyway. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to get on here real quick and just talk to you about the Lake Life workshop and what this is going to entail. So, I'm pretty sure that I had posted not too long ago, like pivot. That's kind of our new slogan, I think, is what we're going to be. Actually, I'm not seeing here. I may have done that with my team. But it's kind of the way things are going to, we're kind of pivoting a little bit. I'm pretty sure that I had posted. Oh, hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. Because things are here and gone so super fast that I'm wanting to just create with what we have, and then I want you guys to be able to get it. And so things are kind of scrambled. So I'm going to kind of talk you through. There's going to be two options for this workshop. And I'm going to hopefully load out the supply list tonight so that you guys can see it. I'm trying to finish up just a couple things, and I am still working on the cutting guide. So if you want, if you're doing this workshop with me and you've gotten your order or have ordered it, you just need to email me, let me know that you've ordered the papers. I'll check, make sure everything's good, and then and that way I can send you the cutting guide, but also let me know if you need the Cricut cuts, okay? So that's kind of what we're talking about here. So let's talk about it. This is our first layout. It's super cute. I love it. I just have to say, if you know me and you know where I live, you know why I love this whole theme, because I live on a lake, right? And so I think there's a lot of fun things that you could do with this. You could do it like a river, and I kind of tried to do that as well because, you know, if you're going down a lazy river or something like that, you could definitely do that. I know that we did something like that in Gatlinburg with the kids years ago. So kind of think outside the box as you're doing that. I got a lot of technique with it, and I wanted to talk to you about this as well. So if you look at the background of this paper, it does have a little bit of stamping, and that's one of the things that I honestly haven't been able to do a lot in our workshops because the stamp sets for the scrapbook layouts are gone so fast. I'm not having a chance to get it. Many of you haven't had a chance to get it, and so I've been trying to create these without that stamp. But just by using a plain background of just cardstock, it really needed more. So what I did was I just went through my stash, and that's what I would recommend all of you do. And I found a stamp set that I had that kind of gave like a little splotch look or a wet look. And so I want you just to kind of look through your stash, see what you can find, see if there's any there that's going to do this. This one kind of has like a water type mark. That one's almost going to be a little too big. But this one worked fine. I had another one I thought was sitting here, but I'm not seeing it right now, that looks like maybe like a raindrop or something. Any of that would work, but you're going to want to be able to use that little splash in the background. And then I also used the white gloss spray, and I didn't necessarily spray it on. We'll talk about that kind of as we're doing the workshop or in my instructions as well, but I did use the gloss white spray. Now, if you don't like the spray or you don't have the spray, because it can tend to be messy, you could use like your white pigment ink pad and just kind of pick it up like a paintbrush. So that's another thing to think about. But I really want you to use your old supplies and your new supplies. So just because Close to My Heart isn't around anymore, and that still breaks my heart to say that, all of our supplies are still good. So I don't want us to just forget that they're there and not use them. So that's going to be the main thing of this. We'll kind of do a technique here. I don't know if you guys can see it real well, but it's kind of like a raised embossing and then kind of coloring that. And then I also used the Distress Oxide inks, and those were showcased in the actual workshop itself. That was the extra, what do you call it? I can't think. Please forgive me. Technique, I guess, the optional technique that was and it was using the Distress Oxides. I did use both of those, okay? So the Vintage Photo and the Speckled Egg, these do really well when it comes to like blending and putting things around edges and all of that. It's a lot more smooth and a lot more forgiving if you tend to get it thicker in one place and need to blend it out. So I did use these. If you do not have these, and this is not something that Stampin' Up carries, but you do have Glacier ink or glacier and, I should say, and maybe toffee. Toffee might work well for the vintage photo, or maybe something even a little bit darker like a nutmeg or cocoa, something like that. Okay, those are older colors. Even chocolate's an older color, but those might be able to work. The speckled egg is going to be more of your glacier, okay? And we are going to need the glacier ink as well for some other things. So just kind of have those in the background. But so that's basically what these are. I am using in this workshop a couple different things. So I wanted to talk to you guys about this. There's a few things in here that are not going to be released until July 3rd, but they were perfect and beautiful and I love them and I wanted to use them. Does that mean you need to? No. Would I recommend you wait until July 3rd? That is a really hard question right now because I know that they have that special coming up. For the bonus month, basically, and where you can get every $50 that you spend, you get 10% like banked and a coupon cent that you can use in August. So for sure, I want you to, if there's anything that you need, that's a great time to do it. Anytime in the month of July, starting July 3rd. The hard part is I don't know how long this paper pack with sticker sheet is still going to be available. I would love to think that it was going to be then. But last month, I thought the Enjoy the Ride was going to make it to the end of the month, and it didn't. Those last few days in the month, I think people get paid and they end up kind of disappearing. So that would be the only caveat I would say. I mean, I hate for you to have to spend shipping twice, but it may be worth it if you really want to do this workshop with me to make sure you get the paper pack and the sticker sheet. This layout was completed with the sticker sheet, the paper pack, and then some of the Cricut cuts. Okay, and again, I will have a Cricut link. If you do Cricut on your own, you can do that. These were print and cut features. If Cricut is not something that you're really comfortable with, or print and cut, that I can do those for a small fee. So I'm happy to. That's just what I need to know ahead of time so I can get them in the mail to you. All right, here is another layout. Again, just using the papers and then the stickers pieces. Now, these were included in the embellishment pack that came in the workshop, but I am able to recreate these in Cricut really easily, so I'm not worried about that. Some twine that you can easily get if you don't already have some. And then again, you can see, and this is what I was going to show in the other one, here are some of these really cool gems, and they came in a double pack. Let me show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like. And it is pecan pie and clear. And so you're getting a little bit of both, but they've also got, I don't know that you can see it on the camera, but they also got like just a little bit of a dark line or grid in the background. Yeah, it's coming through okay. And those are really cool. So I use those, and I use them both because the browns and the clear works really, really well. Again, if you don't want to wait until July 3rd, or if you have clear sparkles, you could use those as well. This just worked out really well because I was able to, again, bring in both colors, and I like the dimension. But that is a sneak peek of what is coming in on July 3rd, okay? So there is layout number 2 that we're going to do. All right, so layouts 3 and 4 were actually my first and second layouts that I created, and so I did them using the workshop files. And so we're going to have to change that just a little bit. And let me show you pretty much the papers that are being used that were in the workshop kit that were not in the paper pack, okay? So you've got your fish layout. So anything that I show you and it's got a plain background, a white background, that means it was special to the workshop. It was a special paper pack or paper created just for the workshop. And so the fish was created just for the workshop, okay? I'm trying to think what other one that I have sitting here. Actually, this one that was in with the other pack was also created from the workshop, but this is going to be really easy to recreate just with sage paper, and then again with your spritz using the white shimmer mist, or I'm sorry, not shimmer mist, the white glossy spray. Another option as well, if you created with me a few months ago, I had talked about how to create, this is something that we did in one of my thank you workshops, but how to create, or we did it in my November workshop. Sorry, I'm shaking it up so that you can see. But we created basically our own shimmer mist sprays with hairspray, alcohol, BBs, re-inker, the whole thing. This is a little bit more forgiving than this. However, this is not going to be as prominent and show as well on the white as this is. This is actually an acrylic spray, and so it sits on top of the paper and gives that crisp white look. This is going to give it a shimmery look. Okay, so just understand the difference of what those two are going to do, but you could use one or the other if you needed to, you know, make a swap or something like that. So that's how we're going to recreate the paper here for the background. Okay, let me look real quick. So the other thing on this one, again, we've got some Cricut cuts here. This was from the workshop kit. And then this was a Cricut cut. These, again, are very easy for me to cut. Now, the only thing I would say about this back piece, so obviously the theme of this is gone fishing, keeping it real. If you don't have the workshop kit, which I know several of you purchased it, but several I heard from you that did not. If you don't have the workshop kit and you need to recreate this, the easiest thing you're going to be able to do is going to get the pine paper, and then you can stamp small fish going all the way across it in white daisy ink. And that, again, is going to be kind of on the supply list for you to kind of decide if that's something that you're interested in or want to do or need to do. Stampin' Up! Does have right now, it's called Gone Fishing, and it's a stamp set. It also has a die set, and you may have to pull them up separately if you want the die set, because it's unlike Close to My Heart where they would kind of have it together. That's one thing I know that we've been talking to Stampin' Up! About, as far as showing what coordinates with one set or the other. And so they don't have the option on some of them to do it as a bundle. And so the Gone Fishing is kind of separate, but that one is available, and it does have several different fish on it. And so that would work really, really well to stamp in the background with white pigment ink. Okay, and so you may already have white pigment ink with from Close to My Heart, and I know Stampin' Up! Carries it as well. So that's what would give you kind of this look, and you would just create your own background paper, basically. Okay. And so everything else here we can create. Now here's another sneaky peek of a product. And I'm going to give you two options on this one as well. So I'm trying to make this as doable for everybody as possible. This is a new embossing folder coming. It's called Birchwood. And I know it looks like wood. How would that really fit into here unless I'm doing something about the outdoors? But the more I looked at this and I kind of held it horizontally, the more to me it looked like waters and waves. I don't know if the glare is going to kind of show or not, but I really had fun with this and creating this. Now, the thing I will say is, as demonstrators, we were able to get these ahead of time. And when I went on to find the product numbers, I'm creating your supply list, I'm not seeing these right now. So I think that they're out of stock. So, this right now isn't an option, but in July, when it was supposed to be released, they may be having more come in, and then you might be able to get this. So just kind of keep that. They do have other ones that are like a wood texture, but I didn't think it was quite the same and gave that look. But in saying that, I will also say this. You're not seeing a ton of it, but you are definitely getting those raised edges and being able to see the differences that it's making there. Like, I love how using that here really took my cardstock and like bumped it up another notch, in my opinion, and made it, and doesn't it look like water there? I just think that's so fun. So that's what I used to create that background. If you don't have a wood grain and the birch isn't available and you still really want to do that technique, the next option, let me grab it real quick. Well, I'm sorry, I thought I had it right here, and apparently I do not. Let me see. Oh, okay, here it is. The next possibility or option, and this one is actually very inexpensive. It's like $5 for this pack, okay? This is, I don't know if I can pull it up for you guys to see it, but it actually is wood textured cardstock. And so you could get this, and then we could take the Distress Oxide ink and then color it and have it be like the glacier color. Okay, so that is another option. So I'm really trying to help you guys see what the different options are. I think that's perfect to use in so many ways. The only thing about that paper is obviously it's consumable. So we're going to use it. We're going to use it here. And if you do a lot of outdoor themed layouts or cards, you're going to use this up, right? But I love that we have this as an option and that it's doable. Now, this is not consumable. So you're going to be able to reuse this, whether it's for a tree or for water, for whatever you want, but it definitely is a little bit more expensive and it's not available at the second. So you know, kind of weigh, I guess, what it is that you're wanting to do. All right. And then this is the last layout, and this layout is honestly going to be really only doable for people who are doing or have the workshop kit, because so, like I said, this was honestly the first one that I created, and I just had this vision in my mind at the get-go of what I wanted to do with this. I'll be honest, I'm going to bring in the Lake Life instructions that you would get in your workshop kit, and you know, I liked having the hexagons, but I really felt like this didn't really play in, having the strips of paper didn't really play in well. I wanted more hexagons. So I started cutting up the hexagons and laying them out and doing different things with them. But all of these pieces mostly are going to be from the workshop kit. So again, this will work out really, really well if you have the workshop kit. And so again, if you do sign up for the workshop to do it and you need Cricut cuts, let me know if you have the workshop kit or not. Because if you do, then there's going to be some other pieces for you to cut. And all the above, the other option is that Close to My Heart had carried some of the hexagon thin cuts. And I thought, yep, here they are. I knew I had them laid out so I could show you. So here are my hexagon thin cuts. These are super easy and fun to use, and I like these especially because they have like the little dash line, and so it makes it look like the little stitching. So I'm able to recreate that, and it again just gives it a little bit more of a pop on here. Okay, so that's kind of what I did here to really make that pop. Just some things for you to kind of consider as you're doing this. If you already have this, great, going to be super easy. You'll want to use these, okay? And this is, as you can see, I cut this out of pattern paper. So if I cut yours for something like this, I'm not going to be able to cut it out of pattern paper, but I would do it out of the cardstock, and you would have two options. You could use the cardstock that I sent you, or you could use the cardstock, attach it to the paper, and then cut, you know, use that as your base to cut, I guess you could say, to cut around. But here is the other layout that's going to go with it. And these 3 spots are going to be for your photo placeholders. So, and in my instructions and all of that, I'll walk you through kind of the best way to put that together. But I did want you to kind of see and understand that this is going to be one of those layouts, unfortunately, that is only going to really work well for those who have the workshop kit. But there's a lot of paper still left. In fact, I have almost an entire sheet. Actually, it might be an entire sheet. It looks like it is, of the water paper. And on the other side, it's like the canoe handles or whatever. So there is so much that you can do with this. So many cards. And I'm hoping to play some more and to show you some different things that you could do with your leftover pieces. Again, I had this whole thing, but I stopped creating with it because I knew that you guys would not have these pieces to continue to create. This was another piece that's in one of the other workshops that I think that you guys can get by with fine, but this was only for the workshop as well. So again, I think this isn't going to be an issue. You'll be able to do with this. And if you have any of your background and texture stamp sets that you kind of use, that's kind of what this would be considered, is of like a background and texture. But we had several that were like squares and they had different designs on it. And that's a good way to just kind of stamp out a different design in the background that would work really well. So I hope that I've kind of given you guys some ideas of things that you can think of how we're going to create this workshop. I know it is going to be a little different and unique because of pieces going away so quickly. But I still felt like it was doable for sure. And I think that you guys are going to have fun. You're going to, still be able to put some wonderful layouts together. And then if you're not able to do just the workshop itself, or, the layouts with the workshop itself, you'll still have some really cool layouts that you can create with the paper pack and sticker sheet. Sorry. So that's pretty much the basic overview of it. Again, I am putting together the supply kit. I will be posting that. You just need to determine, like, how willing are you to, if you haven't placed your order yet for the paper pack, to wait until July 3rd to get the paper pack and sticker sheet, because it is, I'm just afraid. As soon as I tell you, don't worry about it, just wait till then, I'm afraid it's going to go away. And we're getting so close to the end of the month, I'm just not sure. With that being said as well, we have a lot of things coming July 3rd that are going to be unveiled for Close to My Heart. And I'm going to be starting to post pictures here, little peeks for you soon. And then also for the online exclusives, which is like, you know, having this is considered an online exclusive, but there's a whole bunch of papers and things to it as well. And so those, and if you like Christmas, stay tuned, because that's part of what is going to be for the July release. It's for those who love to do Christmas in July. And FYI, is not the only Christmas pack we're going to have. Okay. We are coming out with more in October, November, December, in that time frame. But I know a lot of people do like, and Stampin' Up! Knows a lot of people do like to work on their Christmas cards, or, you know, whatever, what have you, in the summertime, maybe when you have more time, or it's just fun to kind of prepare. So that is a possibility. So just kind of know about that, know what's happening here. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. And like I said, I will be uploading as much of the information here as I possibly can soon. I am still working on the cutting guide, but that should be done in the next day or so. So if you do already have your supplies, or the bulk of your supplies, you'll be able to start cutting those. So just make sure you send me an email, and you can send it to Heather@scrappinwithheather.com. Okay, Heather@scrappinwithheather.com is my new email address. And so you can send it there and let me know that you got the paper pack and you want to complete the workshop with me. And yes, you needed to have purchased the kits, the papers and stuff from me in order to get it free. But I also have it available if you want to purchase it separately without the kits. So just know that that's an option as well. But again, I want you to be able to use up your stash. I want you to use the things that you have. You spent a lot of money on them. They're still very usable. So these are the types of things that we want to do and to use, and they're going to work perfect in here. So start looking through your stamp sets. See if you have, you know, what stamp sets you have that have a little splash on them that you can use for something like that. Even this one, and I think that's kind of why I pulled this piece out right here, even though I think that's supposed to be the stars for the sky, that would work really well for being able to do it. And I could do it in the the glacier ink and the white, and it would still kind of give that the white pigment. Just know when you use white pigment, whether you're doing this or you're doing the fish on the background, it does take time to dry. This takes a little bit of time to dry as well, but I mean, honestly, in like 5 minutes, it's dry. Where white pigment ink, you almost kind of want to leave it overnight. So just some things, if you've not played with it a whole lot, just some things to, you know, test out on a piece of paper, kind of get used to it and go from there. So, all right. Well, you all have a great night. And then I hope to hear from you soon. All right. Happy scrapping. Bye-bye.